Imagine a bank deploys an AI system to approve loans, and within weeks, regulators discovered that the AI is rejecting certain group of applicants more than others. The model works technically, but the outcome creates bias, legal risk, and reputational damage. Let's imagine another scenario. Why a company launches a generative AI assistant but accidentally exposes confidential customer data during conversation. Again, the technology actually works well, but without proper governance, risk becomes enormous. And this is exactly why organizations today are investing heavily in something called AI governance risk and compliance, or AI GRC, which is the bedrock of building responsible, trustworthy AI system. My name is Success Ojo, and I am from Gmind Academy. Now, let us talk about one of the most important pillars of the modern AI system, which is AI governance, risk, and compliance. Like I said, often called AI GRC. As AI becomes more powerful and widely used, organizations must ensure that their AI systems are not only effective, but also responsible, secure, and compliant with regulations. AI GRC ensures that AI systems are developed, they are actually deployed and operated responsibly, securely, and in accordance with compliance with laws, policies, and ethical standards. We can simply put that AI GRC ensures that AI is safe, is trustworthy, and accountable. Because without governance, even the most advanced AI system can introduce serious operational, legal, and ethical risk. In short, AI is what makes our system to be safe, trustworthy from the moment it is created until when it is used in the real world. AI GRC is built on three core components: governance, risk management, and compliance. Let's start with governance and let's define it. Governance defines the policies, the oversight structures, and the decision-making framework for how an AI system are built and are used. For example, governance in an organization may establish AI usage policies, the model approval processes, or human oversight requirements, AI ethics guidelines. All this forms how an AI system will actually be governed from the point of creation to development and also usage. The goal of governance is to ensure that AI decisions align with organization values, the ethical principles, and regulatory expectations. In other words, we can simply say that AI governance answers the question, who is responsible for AI and how AI is controlled. So the second component is risk management. What is risk management? AI risk management helps us to spot and to fix potential problems before they happen. This keeps our AI safe and helps us avoid legal trouble or damage to our reputation. AI systems, they introduce new type of risk, even that traditional software may not have. Some of the key AI risks to monitor for are: 1. Bias in our AI models. 2. Hallucination in generative AI. 3. Privacy violations. 4. Security vulnerabilities. 5. Model drift over time. You see, to manage this risk, organizations need to apply several techniques. Common techniques being used is: 1. Risk register. They have to list to ensure that they track potential problems and their impact. So risk register help us to create a list of potential problems and their impact. And it's always a living document. The second one is model assessment. which help us to regularly checks to ensure that AI works as intended. So from time to time, we need to carry out our model assessments. Another common techniques that we use to mitigate risk, most especially AI risk, is AI red teaming, which is testing AI to find where it may fail. That means what could go wrong. And another one is safety testing. What by safety testing? Is for us to ensure that we check AI against all preset safety rules, security vulnerabilities, and all these things will help us to be able to ensure that our AI systems remain reliable, safe, trustworthy throughout their life cycle. The third component is compliance. And compliance ensures that AI systems follows laws, regulations, and industry framework. And some of the major frameworks guiding AI governance today include the EU AI Act, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework, ISO 42001 for AI Management System, GDPR for data protection, and SOC 2 for operational and security controls. Okay, let's look at EU AI Act. It is European law for AI that classifies AI system by risk level and requires that strict controls for high-risk AI system used in areas like finance, healthcare, and hiring. Introduce requirements for transparency, human oversight, and risk management in AI systems. Organizations deploying AI in the European Union must ensure that their systems are safe, explainable, and properly documented. On the other hand, Risk AI Risk Management Framework is a practical framework that helps organizations to identify, assess, and manage risk in AI systems throughout their life cycle. It provides that guidance on building trustworthy, reliable, and secure AI systems. I'm telling you, this is not mandatory, but it's actually a great recommendation. And the framework emphasizes that governance, measurement, and the continuous monitoring of AI model. This emphasis is very important, and NIST AI management framework is actually a great recommendation, most especially if it has to be a system that is working for government or used to process government data. We also have ISO 42001, and this is the first international standard for AI management system, helping organizations to govern AI safety responsibly and consistently. It's essentially structured processes for AI development, risk management, and oversight. Organizations use ISO 42001 certification to demonstrate responsible AI governance to regulators and customers. It is just an ethical thing for you to have, but it's not mandatory, but it shows that your organization is actually ethical when they have such certification as ISO 42001. If you look at it, the organization deploying AI, they must always maintain what is known as audit trail, documentation, and evidence to demonstrate their compliance to regulators and editors. We also have SOC 2. SOC 2 is very, very important because it's widely used for audit framework that verifies organizations maintain strong security, availability, and operational controls over the systems and data. SOC 2 focuses on protecting customer data throughout secured infrastructure, monitoring and access control. When organizations have SOC 2 certification, it helps them to be able to demonstrate trust and reliability to their enterprise customer. We also have GDPR, which is the European Data Protection Regulations that ensures that personal data used in AI system is collected, processed, and protected responsibly. And it gives individuals greater control over how their personal data is used. As you can see, that how compliance and regulatory standards, they help in ensuring that AI systems is properly governed and at the same time is safe to use. An organization deploying AI, they must maintain audit trail, documentation, and evidence to demonstrate compliance to regulators and auditors. So there are some key AI GRC that organization needs to implement in order to ensure that their AI is properly governed and at the same time is safe to use. Now let's talk about them. The first one is model documentation. Organization has to keep clear records of how a model is built. They must also be clear about the data being used and its limitations. And this will help really make it easier to verify and repeat results. Another practice is dataset transparency. It is important for organizations to be open about where the data they use in building the model comes from and how it was collected to better spot potential bias. Another one is explainability of AI decisions. It is very important for us to make sure that people can understand and challenge how our AI reaches its conclusion. These three decisions or three practices are very, very important in ensuring that our AI systems are governed and well protected and also safe to use. Other key AI GRC practices. One of them is bias testing. And we need to really regularly check our AI model results to ensure they are fair and they do not discriminate against specific group. We have to continue to do our bias testing to spot when our model or our AI system is now being biased. Another one is human in the loop oversight. We have to ensure humans remain involved to review and approve AI decisions, especially in high-stakes situations. Another good practice is incident response, because there must be incident response procedure for AI failures. Error analysis. We must have a clear plan for fixing error, hallucination, or harmful outputs when they happen in real time. These practices ensure that AI systems remain transparent, accountable, and continuously monitored. Now let's talk about AI GRC lifecycle. Because it is very important for us to think about AI GRC as a continuous lifecycle. Because it begins with AI development, where the models are created. Next, organizations need to conduct risk assessments to identify potential issues. Then after that, they will come with policy enforcement to ensure governance controls are applied. And after development, system must continuously monitor for drift, bias, and security risk. Finally, organization must maintain audit compliance processes to demonstrate regulatory alignment. So, the life cycle will now look like development of the AI, which is AI development. Then after it has been developed, they need to carry out what is known as risk assessment. And after that, there must be policy enforcement. Then after that, there must be monitoring. And after monitoring, there must be audit and compliance. You can see that is what is known as AI GRC life cycle, from development to audit and compliance. In between, we have to carry out risk assessment, policy enforcement, and monitoring. When organizations treat AI governance as an ongoing process, they are better at meeting the rules, keeping trust, and fixing AI issues as it occurs in real time. It is very, very important For us to ensure that before we can have a powerful AI, it requires responsible governance. And this cannot be optional. Let's talk about what a responsible AI team should look like. A typical responsible AI governance structure should include dedicated roles that ensure that AI is built and used safely, ethically, and accountably across the organization. Number one, they should have a chief AI governance officer. And this person set the strategic decision for AI policy, accountability, and ethical standard across the whole organization. It is also good for them to have head of risk and compliance, which identifies, monitors, and mitigates AI-related risk while ensuring adherence to laws and regulations. It is important for them to have an AI ethics lead, which champions fairness, transparency, and human rights in AI development and deployment decisions. Of course, it is good for them to have a chief technical officer, which ensures that AI systems are technically sound, secured, and aligned with the business and governance objective. A strong AI governance board or team is not just a compliance requirement, it is a strategic asset that builds trust with customers and regulators and the society. So, when you get your role, make sure that you perform your role very well as part of the responsible AI structure of your organization. Powerful AI requires responsible governance, and organizations that implement strong AI GRC framework will be able to innovate with confidence, build trust with customers, and stay ahead of emerging regulations. Building trust and worthy AI future requires a well-structured GRC implementation because it's going to serve as the essential framework providing the structure for developing and deploying AI systems that are not only innovative but also inherently responsible, ethical, and fully compliant with evolving regulation. It is the bedrock upon which trust in AI is built. In fact, responsible AI is not just a goal, it is a continuous commitment to safety, fairness, and accountability. And in this course, we have actually talked about the 3 core pillars of governance, risk, and compliance. We have talked about the 6 best practices, or let me say key practices, from documentation to incident response. And we have actually talked about the continuous life cycle, which is an ongoing and not a one-time task. Thank you, and let's build AI that the world can trust.